At a certain point of this constant unrest and travail, even the physical mind loses its conviction of objective certitude and enters into an agnosticism which questions all its own standards of life and knowledge, doubts whether all this is real, or else whether all, even if real, is not futile. The vital mind, baffled by life and frustrated or else dissatisfied with all its satisfactions, overtaken by a deep disgust and disappointment, finds that all is vanity and vexation of spirit and is ready to reject life and existence as an unreality, all that is hunted after as an illusion, Maya. The thinking mind, unbuilding all its affirmations, discovers that all are mere mental constructions, that there is no reality in them, or else that the only reality is something beyond this existence, something that has not been made or constructed, something absolute and eternal. All that is relative, all that is of time, is a dream, a hallucination of the mind, or a vast delirium, an immense cosmic illusion, a delusive figure of apparent existence. The principle of negation prevails over the principle of affirmation and becomes the universal and absolute. Thence arise the great world negating religions and philosophies. Thence, too, a recoil of the life motive from itself and a seeking after a life elsewhere, flawless and eternal, or a will to annul life itself in an immobile reality or an original non existence. In India, the philosophy of world negation has been given formulations of supreme power and value by two of the greatest of our thinkers, Buddha and Shankara. There have been intermediate or later in time other philosophies of considerable importance, some of them widely accepted, formulated with much acumen of thought by men of genius and spiritual insight, which disputed with more or less force and success the conclusions of these two great metaphysical systems. But none has been put forward with an equal force of presentation or drive of personality or had a similar massive effect. The spirit of these two remarkable spiritual philosophies, for Shankara in the historical process of India's philosophical mind takes up, completes, and replaces Buddha, has weighed with a tremendous power on her thought, religion, and general mentality. Everywhere broods its mighty shadow. Everywhere is the impress of the three great formulas: the chain of karma, escape from the wheel of birth, rebirth, Maya. It is necessary, therefore, to look afresh at the idea or truth behind the negation of cosmic existence and to consider, however briefly, what is the value of its main formulations or suggestions, on what reality they stand, how far they are imperative to the reason or to experience. For the present, it will be enough to throw a regard on the principal ideas which are grouped around the conception of the great cosmic illusion Maya, and to set against them those that are proper to our own line of thought and vision. For both proceed from the conception of the one reality, but one leads to a universal illusionism, the other to a universal realism. An unreal or real unreal universe reposing on a transcendent reality, or a real universe reposing on a reality at once universal and transcendent or absolute. Okay. So, what he is saying is that right in the beginning he has told us that everything can be doubted. Okay. If you remember, you can doubt your own existence, you can doubt the existence of the universe, you can doubt the existence of God. The existence of God is denied by the materialist. The existence of the universe is denied by the Buddhists and the Mayavadins. Okay? The existence of your own reality is also by the Buddhists and the Mayavadins. Okay, so this is what he is saying. Now he is saying that's a mind, but there is a vital also. The vital also sometimes gets dissatisfied with life. Okay, at a certain point, this the vital also gets dissatisfied and wants to run away and try to find something useful, because whatever you want to do in life, you don't always succeed. Okay, so you get disgusted and you want to find something which is more permanent. Now he is talking about the physical mind. Okay, the para that we just now read, we are talking of the physical mind. Remember that the physical mind is that part of the mind. The mind has three layers: the physical mind, the vital mind, and the pure mind. The physical mind is that which interprets the senses and makes you see the physical world as real. Okay? The vital mind is that which allies itself to the mind allies itself to the vital and supports the desires and its preferences. And the pure mind is that which is normally unaffected by the vital and the body.
Now, a very interesting phrase that I found almost toward the end. He says, to set against them those that are proper to our own line of thought and vision. He's speaking about the integral yoga.
Absolutely.
Yes.
The integral philosophy.
Yeah, but he doesn't use the first person. He says our
Always, our line, always.
Yes.
Very
Yes.
rarely does he say I or mine. Very rarely.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so that's right. So he is saying that since it is possible to deny God, deny the universe, and deny even one's own existence, let us see whether there is any truth in this matter, in this philosophy. And certainly, even if it is not true, it has left a huge impact on India. Buddha and Shankara, they are the ones who have made the reality of the physical world is being questioned. So we will have a look at that and contrast them. First of all, we will see whether there is any truth in it. And even if
is Buddha even more than Shankara?
yes, not Buddha but Buddhism.
Yeah, Buddhism, yes. Yes.
Because Buddha's own concern was only how to get rid of suffering. That's all. He doesn't discuss the reality or the unreality so much. His only main concern is how to get rid of suffering. And so you go to get your consciousness out of the body, mind, life, and you will be free of suffering. That's his whole idea. But as a consequence, you see the physical world as unreal.
Yes.
So that's the word. Shankara has also been misunderstood because he uses the word Maya. He doesn't say that the physical world is absolutely untrue. He says it is semi-true. It's like the rainbow, which is real, unreal. Like the blue of the sky. The blue of the sky is real or unreal. There is no blue in the sky, but you see it as such. Okay? So these are the things. So he says that the world is real in time and space. But if you want the divine, pure divine, and not a mixture, you have to leave the physical world and go there. You will not find the divine in the physical world. It may be real, but the divine is not here. The divine is there.
So does one have to get out of time and space?
That's right. Your consciousness has to go out of time and space.
Yes.
And that it does. So This is what he has said in this one. So, and then he's saying, so if there is a truth, if first of all let's examine and see whether there is any, is it really untrue? Then we will dismiss it. But if it is true, what is its truth and what is our truth? We shall compare and study the thing. That's what he's saying. Okay. So as you said, he's saying, for the present it will be enough to show a regard on the principal ideas which are grouped around the conception of the great cosmic illusion, okay, Maya, and set against them those that are proper to our own line of thought and vision. Not only thought but vision. Okay? So, this is what so there are 3 degrees. The first is Buddha says the physical world is unreal. Shankara says it is real, unreal. Srimdo says it is real and real. Both are real. Okay? So this is the study in this chapter, the cosmic illusion. Then the next one, the next one is the reality and the cosmic illusion. So there he examines in a very, very interesting way. It's a very complex chapter in which he says which part of us is experiencing the physical world. Okay? And so there are 3 things. When you have knowledge of something, okay, there is a knower, there is a known, and there is knowledge. So which of these 3 is responsible for the unreality or the reality? So it's a very complex discussion, but very interesting, but very long. Okay. So now we are just discussing this one. He is saying we will look at the phenomena of Maya and look at what it is. Is there really something corresponding to the reality which they are saying? That's what he is discussing. So we read the next para?
Yes.
Okay. In itself and by itself, the vital being's aversion, the life mind's recoil from life, cannot be taken as valid or conclusive. Its strongest motive is a sense of disappointment and an acceptance of frustration by which
Which has
no greater claim to conclusiveness than the idealist's opposite motive of invariable hope and his faith and will to realize. So, it's a very big para, so we'll go sentence by sentence, I think right from the beginning. Okay?
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Very good idea.
Yes. So what he's saying is,
It keeps fresher in the mind of people when you discuss sentence by sentence.
Yes.
Good.
its strongest motive, the motive of the life mind, where life mind's recoil from life, cannot be taken as valid, because its strongest motive is a sense of disappointment and an acceptance of frustration, which has no greater claim to conclusiveness than the idealist's opposite motive of invariable hope and his faith and will to realize. So men are of 2 types. One is, we see the imperfection of the physical world and we are disappointed, okay, and we can do nothing about it. There is a frustration. This is the futility of life in the existentialism. Okay. The other one is, no, there is hope and we can escape from this misery and there is a solution to it. That's the other one. That's an idealist's opposite motive of invariable hope and his faith and will to realize. The existentialist does not do anything about it. Okay.
But the second one, it seems very positive.
Yes, it's a positive one, and the first one is not positive, but you accept quietly with disappointment you accept it. Okay, it's very similar to a discussion I had with somebody, and I was telling him that his views are not wrong necessarily, but he puts his views through with such a force of egoistic assertion that people get affected by them. Okay, So he said, I am fully aware of my egoistic tendencies, but I can't do anything about it.
Uh,
That's exactly the first one. I know that I am imperfect in this way, but I can do nothing about it. So that's the first attitude. The second attitude would be one who is a yogi and would say, no, I know my defects are there, but I will be able to do something about it, and I will do something about it. So that's the second one. That's what Swami is pointing out here. Okay, so nevertheless, there is a certain validity in the mental support of this sense of frustration. So even the existentialist, when he says that this imperfection in the physical world is there and I am frustrated, there is some element of truth in it. So let's see what that truth is. Okay, in the perception at which the thinking mind arrives that there is an illusion behind all human effort and terrestrial endeavor. Okay, the illusion of his political and social gospels, the illusion of his ethical efforts at perfection, the illusion of philanthropy and service, the illusion of works, the illusion of fame, power, success, the illusion of all achievement. Let's have a look at all these things one by one. Okay, so
is that not the nihilist philosophy?
philosophy of
The nihilist philosophy. If one is a nihilist, he believes in nothing. It's all false.
yeah. Okay, so he's saying, let's look at what is there a truth in that? See, is there an illusion really? So, illusion behind all human effort and terrestrial endeavor. The illusion of the political and social gospels. We want perfection of justice, we want perfection of education, but do we succeed? We may improve a little, but the perfection never comes. So, there is an illusion. The illusion that you can make things perfect here, that's an illusion. The illusion of his ethical efforts at perfection. You try to perfect yourself, but you never succeed fully. Okay? The illusion of philanthropy. I may help some people, but am I helping everybody? My philanthropy doesn't succeed. Okay? Then and service. The illusion of works. Whatever I do, I may achieve something, but at the end of life, I myself am disappearing. So what's the point in? So there also there is an illusion. The illusion of fame is very clear. You are famous only for a short time, okay, and then later on you are forgotten. Okay, so fame is something. Power and success, okay, that also is all. You are only powerful for, in America and India, 5 years. The president is power only for that. After that, he is an ordinary man. So the illusion of power, okay. So the illusion of works, illusion of fame, power, the illusion of all achievement. However much you do, the world seems to remain the same.
So is this not disillusionment?
I didn't get the word, Narad.
Is it not disillusionment?
Disillusionment.
Yes.
Yeah, that's it. That's what it is.
It's tantamount to disillusionment.
Yes, that's it. That's it. That's what it comes to. So Srimad is saying there is a truth in that. Okay? So however much you try to get perfection here, you never succeed fully. Okay, so that's one way of looking at it. Human, social and political endeavor turns always in a circle and leads nowhere. Man's life and nature remain always the same, always imperfect, and neither laws nor institutions nor education nor philosophy nor morality nor religious teachings have succeeded in producing the perfect man, still less a perfect humanity. Straighten the tail of a dog as you will, it has been said, it always resumes its natural curve of crookedness. So, this is the view of the existentialism. You can do nothing about it. Okay, so this image was given by Vivekananda. Vivekananda said that at the first level, whatever you try control your vices, control your vital with your mind, it will always go back to the crookedness. A perfect control of the vital is not possible here in the physical world. Yeah. So that's it. Straighten the tail of a dog as you will, it has been said, it always resumes its natural curve of crookedness. Altruism, philanthropy, and service, Christian love or Buddhist compassion have not made the world a whit happier. They only give infinitesimal bits of momentary relief here and there. Throw drops on the fire of the world's suffering. So this is the what a powerful phrase. Throw drops on the fire of the world's suffering. The world remains the same. Nothing has happened. Okay? It's always imperfect. All aims are in the end transitory and futile. All achievements unsatisfying or evanescent. All works are so much labor of effort and success and failure which consummate nothing definitive. Whatever changes are made in human life are of the form only, not the spirit, only the form. And these forms pursue each other in a futile circle. What he means by pursue each other is they are dualities, they are opposites. If there is truth, there is also falsehood. If there is one, there is also the many. If there is cold, there is the heat. So these are the the dualities which are constantly pursuing each other. It is supported. Okay, so Srimad is saying that for the essence of life, its general character remains the same forever. Nothing changes. That's what he's saying. Now, Srimad's own view of this matter. This view of things may be exaggerated, but it has an undeniable force. It is supported by the experience of man's centuries, and it carries in itself a significance which at one time or another comes upon the mind with an overwhelming air of self-evidence that nothing is changing, everything remains the same in spite of our best efforts. Not only so, but if it is true that the fundamental laws and values of terrestrial existence are fixed so that it must always turn in repeated circles, and this has been for long a very prevalent notion, then this view of things in the end is hardly escapable. It is certainly then you come to the conclusion that perfection in the physical world is not possible. Okay. Then this view of things in the end is hardly escapable. For imperfection, ignorance, frustration and suffering are a dominant factor of the world, of the existing world order. The elements contrary to them, knowledge, happiness, success, perfection, are constantly found to be deceptive or inconclusive. The two opposites are so inextricably mixed that if this state of things is not a motion towards a greater fulfillment, if this is the permanent character of the world order, then it is hard to avoid the conclusion that all here is either the creation of an inconscient energy which would account for the incapacity of an apparent consciousness to arrive at anything, or intentionally a world of ordeal and failure, the issue being not here but elsewhere, and even a vast and aimless cosmic illusion. So, Srimad is saying that it does seem as though the physical world doesn't change ever. The imperfection is permanent. Okay? And so you come to this conclusion that there is nothing you can do here. You have to go elsewhere and do it. That was Buddhist philosophy, the Mayavada philosophy, and the Advaita philosophy also. That you have to go elsewhere for perfection. In the physical world, you will never find perfection. Does Sri Aurobindo agree with that? He says that it is apparently so, but there is an evolution. A slow change is there. It's not that there is no change at all. There is a slow change which is evolution. And In time, things will change. They will not change suddenly, but they will change little by little. And you see in evolution that there is a change from matter to life, from life to mind, and therefore there will also be a change from mind to supermind. So there is the divine is revealing himself in slow steps. So it is not permanent, non-changing imperfection in the physical world, but there is a slow change in the imperfection going towards perfection. That's his view. Okay, so this is the truth. The truth of what the existentialist force is saying is that yes, things do seem to be permanent, but they are not really permanent. They last a long time. That's the truth. Among these alternative conclusions, the second, as it is usually put before us, offers no ground for a philosophic reason, since we have no satisfying indication of the connection between the here and elsewhere, which are posited against each other but not explained in the inevitability of their relations, and there is no light cast on the necessity of fundamental significance of the ordeal and failure. So, there is a third theory of life. The first theory of life is the unchangeability. Okay, so the second one, as it is usually put for us, is offers no ground for the philosophic reason, since we have no satisfying indication of the third. So, let me summarize and make it clear what he is saying. The first view of life is that there is nothing that can be done for perfection in the physical world. This is the first theory of life. The imperfection in the physical world is permanent. The second theory of life is that no, perfection is possible, but you have to go out of the physical world to get the perfection. In the physical world, perfection is not possible, but perfection is possible outside the physical world. The third theory is Srivano's view, which says that there is a change in the physical world. It is very slow, but it is change, it is possible. Perfection will come ultimately. That's the third view. So the second view is that we can escape from imperfection to perfection. We can escape from the unreal to the real. The human being can do that. But humanity is bound to the imperfection of the world. That view is what he is discussing here in this para. Okay? Among these alternative conclusions, the second is, as it is usually put before us, okay, offers no ground for the philosophic reason, since we have no satisfying indication of the connection between the here and elsewhere. Where is the connection? I don't see the connection. That's what he's saying. Which are posited against each other, but not explained in the inevitability of their relations, and there is no light cast on the necessity or fundamental significance of the ordeal and the failure. So the other question is that, okay, there is imperfection here, but from where did it come? What is the purpose of this imperfection? Okay, what is its purpose? The significance of the ordeal and the failure. Now, it could only be intelligible, we can understand the imperfection of the physical world, except it could only be intelligible except as the mysterious will of an arbitrary creator, and if there was a choice by immortal spirits to try the adventure of the ignorance and the necessity for them to learn the nature of a world of ignorance in order that they might reject it. This is the second theory. Okay, so first is that there is no explanation for the imperfection of the physical world, okay, because it's run by an arbitrary creator, and he is not bothered about the universe. The world is imperfect. The second one, if there is a choice by immortal spirits to try the adventure of the ignorance and a necessity for them to learn the nature of a world of ignorance in order that we might reject it. So the second solution is that the suffering and the imperfection of the physical world has been created with the idea as a training ground. The human being comes down here, you see the physical world and its imperfection, and then you try to find a solution to it by escaping from it.
So it's a training ground for a heaven or a world elsewhere?
It's a training ground for the individual soul, and he has to escape from there, and once he knows the nature of the imperfection, he goes up. Okay?
Yes.
But still there is no explanation good enough if you have to leave it. Okay? So that's it. Then he says, the next one is, but such a creative motive, necessarily incidental and quite temporary in its incidence, with the earth as its casual field of experience, could hardly by itself account for the immense and enduring phenomena of this complex universe. So he says that it is, the imperfection continues forever. How can that be? Okay, that's what he is questioning. If this world is only for rejection, for a better life, why this immense, magnificently complex universe? That's what he is asking. Is it? You get the point, right? It's a very subtle points are all there. Okay, so it's a
Very subtle, yes.
The first one is there is no explanation. Okay. The second one is there is an explanation. It has been, all this imperfection is a training ground. You come down, the human soul comes down, realizes the imperfection here, and then aspires to go into the higher level where perfection is available. So if that is the purpose, Simba is saying, it still does not satisfy, because how to explain all the beauty? It's not only imperfection and ugliness and falsehood. There is so much of beauty in it. How to explain that?
Yes.
That's what he's saying in this one. I read out the comment that I have written on the side. If this world is only for rejection after experience, and you go to a better world in heaven, why this immense, magnificently complex universe with so much beauty and so much complexity? Why? It could have been something very simple.
Can you speak for a moment about how all the destruction of the mountains, the poison in the lakes and rivers and ocean will change with the supramental?
The change of the supramental will not change anything in the physical world. Your view of things will change. The view of things will change. Man is seeing in a certain way, the animal is seeing the world in a certain way, the man is seeing in a certain way, the yogi sees in a certain way, and the supramental being also will see it in a certain way. The consciousness of the supermind, supramental, in the physical world will change. Okay? So, after all, when the supramental being comes into the physical world, he is part of the physical world. So, the basic structure of the imperfection continues to remain, but the superstructure, the one who is a supramental being, okay, the superman, will be also part of the world. So there is a slow change in the physical world also. That's what you have to see it in that way. Okay, so now I can read the next one. This complex universe, how to explain? It can become an operative part of a satisfactory explanation if this world is a field for the working out of a greater creative motive, if it's a manifestation of the divine truth or a divine possibility in which under certain conditions an initiating ignorance must intervene as a necessary factor, and if the arrangement of this universe contains in it a compulsion of the ignorance to move towards knowledge, of the imperfect manifestation to grow into perfection, of the frustration to serve as steps towards a final victory, of the suffering to prepare a emergence of the divine delight of being. So, the solution to this problem of the imperfection of the physical world if we assume that the imperfection is not permanent, that there is a slow evolution and it is going from the lowest to the highest in a slow progression of evolution. If that is the explanation, then there is some sense to it. That's what he's saying.
And then is matter also evolving?
Matter, part of matter is evolving. When the animal is coming into existence, it is matter which has evolved with life. All living creatures have matter in it. Okay? So, matter has evolved in that sense. The stone does not evolve, but the matter in a living creature has evolved. It is now capable of housing life. Then we come to the next one. The brain in man is matter, but it has got life in it and it's also got the capacity to think. And this matter is now thinkable, it is capable of thinking. Note interestingly also, in ourselves also, I have a bone which is matter, but it is not capable of thought. Only the brain is capable of thought. Okay? So, my hair also is not capable of thought. Okay? So matter, part of matter is becoming more and more evolving. Okay? That's why you can say in a certain way that there are more atoms of matter in the world than animal creatures, because only some matter has become animal creature. Similarly, there are more animals than human beings, because part of the animals, some of the animals have become human beings. You see what I'm saying? Then
I see what you're saying. I'm not too sure that there are more there are 9 billion human beings in the world.
So I'll put it in another way. I'll put it this way. The change in the physical world is matter will remain permanent. The permanency of the grossness of matter will remain always. But some of the matter will become animal life. This is clear?
This is clear, yes.
Okay. Then now with the animal life, it's a combination of matter and life. But now mentality comes in and some of the animals can become men. But most of the animals will remain animal. Therefore, there will be less human beings than animals. You get the point?
I got the point.
Okay. Then similarly, yes?
Okay, go ahead.
Similarly, there will be less yogis than human beings. More human beings will be there, less yogis. It's a pyramidal structure. Do you think that all human beings will become yogis and that all yogis will become supermen? No. So it's a pyramidal. So in other words, the capacity of matter to produce grades of an superior substance is taking place.
Okay, but my question is a little bit deeper, I think.
Okay, go ahead.
Sri Aurobindo writes to Dilip that the earth is a conscious being.
Yes.
And it only takes a form for that conscious being. And the form is the world. So are the rivers evolving?
No, the consciousness in the form is evolving. That you have to understand.
I feel that with the supramental world, and I may be totally wrong, that the earth will also change. It will become much more beautiful than it is now, because Mother's working with nature.
Not all. Not all. That can't be. The inconscient can't suddenly disappear. That can't happen. Because what is evolving is the consciousness, but the consciousness is a part of the universe. So when you see that divinization of matter takes place, it doesn't take place all over. It doesn't take place all over. It is some of it that is evolving. In other words, the possibility of the divinization of matter is being proved. But that doesn't mean that matter will disappear. Matter will remain, animals will remain, human beings will remain, but the supermen will be part of the universe. In that sense, it is going to be the divinization of matter.
But the ocean is matter, the rivers are
They
matter.
remain exactly what they are. They will not change. The forms
So
cannot change.
all,
So all the pollution of the rivers and the ocean will not change.
No, that will not change. But there is one thing: when man has come into existence, there are some who understand that pollution should not take place. Okay, so they will educate the lowers. So it is possible that the lowers will also learn to improve things in the physical world.
okay,
But there will always be some men who will not understand that and will continue to
Yes.
pollute. That's my point.
I see.
All men will not be able to get the idea that pollution should not be there. Okay, so that.
Well, thank you so much, Ranga. We'll have to finish this paragraph next week.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Thank you so much.
Okay, Narad.